Camus Boats, from the mind of Earl Bentz. Excellence, tradition, and service, all part of the Camus advantage. On the water perfection. This is your next boat. Build your next boat at CamisBoats.com. Ducket Fishing, pro-driven rods, reels, and baits. The choice of champions. Check out ducketfishing.com to see what everybody's talking about. Ducket Fishing, pro-driven. Matt Stefan won the Major League Fishing Invitational on the Mississippi River. The winning was great, but he's got a spectacular barge and lock story that you're not going to want to miss. What point did you think that you had the tournament won or had the chance to win? I'm guessing you thought you had the tournament won. You found out on stage, I'm guessing, is when you really discovered it. But was there a time, and you were up there as the tournament went on, so when did it begin to dawn on you that, hey, I might be in the right place?
Yeah, I thought I first started thinking I actually had a shot at this event after I caught my 16 and a half pounds on pool 7. So, you know, each day we had a barge in the lock first thing in the morning. So we didn't get up to pool 7 until 2 hours at least into the beginning of the day. So we lost a lot of time from that standpoint. But so the first day I started fishing around 9 o'clock, and I had 16 and a half pounds right at noon, and then I locked back down at that point. But it was sitting in the lock coming back where I was like, 16 and a half pounds on the Mississippi River in the summer is a really good bag. And I thought to myself, I'm like, man, I made a quick pass through there. I didn't even like really milk it. I had caught I think my bag consisted of one that was almost 5 1/4, a couple of 3 1/4, 3 1/2, and then the others were like 2 3/4. So they were really good quality fish, and I did not fish it tough. So at that point, I was like, I actually might have stumbled onto a pretty good area. In terms of actually winning the event, the Steve Lopez was fishing the same exact way I was. I didn't know that until like halfway through the tournament, but we were doing very similar things. But he had found several schools of fish, and we were catching them really fast. So when it came to the last day, I really thought I would need 16 plus pounds to have a shot. So I never really thought throughout the tournament that I had a shot until the barge debacle on the way back, where we're all waiting to lock through, and Steve asked me what I had, and I told him I had a little over 15 pounds, and he said he had 13 and a half to 14. And at that point I was like, oh my god, I might have the winning fish, but oh my god, I'm not even gonna get to weigh them in because the barge is gonna lock us out. So it was a it was a really weird experience to find out. It was almost in a way I didn't want to think I had the fish that could lead me to a win, because I didn't want to go through the agony of I had the fish to win, but I lost the tournament because I didn't get to weigh him in.
Yeah, I can't remember where I heard this. Maybe I heard this on your channel or something, but Tom Mansour is in there with you guys, right?
Yep.
He makes a phone call to somebody, and that works out. How did that shake out?
Yeah, so I don't know the exact specifics, but we're allowed to call the lockmasters and talk to them and find out, is there a barge coming? Is there not a barge coming? The problem with that is the river is meant to be used as a travel route for barges more than pleasure boats, and we're considered pleasure boats. So the barges have priority. And when we have big tournaments like this, generally what happens is the anglers really kind of upset the lockmasters because they're consistently calling them, hey, where's there a barge? Can I come through? And it's a pain in the butt for the lockmasters. So it gets to the point where a lot of times they just don't answer the phone. And Tom being a river savvy guy, and this is something I learned that I'm gonna go out and purchase, but he had a marine radio, and he actually could talk to the barge captains. He could listen to the barge captains talking to the lockmasters. Wow. So he knew what was going on. And he's got the phone numbers for everybody. I mean, Tom is, the king of lacrosse. He is the king of that river. He's been there his entire life, and he knows everybody. And so I don't know. I know he came over to me about an hour before weigh-in, and he told me, he said, well, I just talked to the lockmaster, and the lockmaster's response was, you better start praying to have any shot at all to get through. So it was pretty grim.
Yeesh.
And like a half hour later, so I mean, right around 12 o'clock, or I'm sorry, 2 o'clock, and we had the check in at 2:30. You're looking at, like, in an ideal world, 25 minutes to get in the lock, get situated, drop the water, lock doors open, and then we had a 5 mile or so run to get back to takeoff. So you're really looking at 25 minutes. And all the anglers getting together talking, we were like, if we're not in there by 2:05, we really are probably not making it. And at 2 o'clock, so to give a little more backdrop on it. So there were probably, I'm going to say 10 boats, 7 to 10 boats at this point that made the final day, but we were all like in the top 10. I mean, you're talking the majority of the top 10. When we first got there, which was 12:30, 1 o'clock-ish, so several hours before check-in, we all, the boats are all talking. Everyone is kind of not joking around, but, hey, how was your day? Very cordial with each other. And by 2 o'clock, everyone kind of went like this. We all just kind of went by ourselves, because it was like you didn't feel like talking. I felt like throwing up, to be honest with you. And like at 2 o'clock, I heard Tom laugh. Tom has a very defined, make you smile laugh, and I hear him laughing. And I turn around, and he's over by another boat, and he comes idling over to me. And he just looks at me. He goes, Matt, I made a call. We're going to get your fishing. You're going to get the way you're fishing. And I just looked at him. I said, Tom, I don't know what you did or who you called, but I know Tom. So I know he's got, like, not that he can just make stuff happen, but he's got connection. And
sure.
I just looked at him. I said, Tom, whatever you did, whoever you called, thank you. And it was like, at that point, I turned and I looked at the lock, where you can see the guys moving around, like, and they went from kind of just walking around to, like, not running but hustling. Like, so whatever happened, there was it was a fire lit under the guys up there. Wow. And they got us out, and then the lock masters did a phenomenal job of like directing us. So as we were pulling in to the lock, they gave us a quick green light, allows us to go in the lock. At that point, we're going in, and they were like shouting directions to us as we're coming in. And then they immediately get the door shut, immediately start dropping us. And as it's dropping, they came back through, and they're giving us more directions. As soon as those doors get to this point, you can go. Make sure you go left around the bulkhead, because that's not no wake as soon as you get around, versus having to go no wake all the way to the end. And they just did a great job. Like, wow. They did a phenomenal job to get us through at that point. And I'm just very thankful that happened, because Keith, I don't know how I would have handled it had I won the tournament, but not won the tournament.
I'm Keith Neiswanger. This is the Bass Tour Anglers podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you'd like to reach us, please send us a direct message on Instagram at Bass Tour Anglers Podcast. Take care. Be safe. We'll talk to you next time.